So before Siddharth starts, I just wanted to extend our heartiest thanks, and we are really glad that Sir has given us this session, and it is exclusively for our kids. It is only 35 to 40 students of BA Honors who are doing their undergrad. So, you're really so humble to join us here. I know that you have been with 500s and thousands of audience across the country and abroad also. We have been listening to your videos in the YouTube with more than thousands of likes, which is for exclusively for 360-degree transformations and all that. I'm so glad that the wisdom what you share to all of us, you have contributed to our growth in some way or the other. Especially the unlock the abundance, the series of sessions training which you gave for us. It was really useful, and even now I have the thoughts in me. So that has helped us a lot to come out of all that stress and how to balance life and how to enjoy the abundance inside us, which is already there. And the second thing which you also shared for this during this COVID situation, we were so glad to attend all that with your blessings and with your wisdom, sir. Thanks a lot for giving us this session. Can I now request Siddharth? Can you please introduce sir, Kana?
Yes, ma'am. So, good morning to one and all present here. So today we got an opportunity to meet and attend session of Dr. P.S. Kumar sir, who is the founder of 360-degree transformation and managing director of ETA Smart Private Limited. So Dr. Kumar sir has completed his qualification in PhD in Business Administration, MBA in Marketing Management, and ME in Production Engineering and BE in Mechanical Engineering. So Dr. Kumar sir has certified under training from Success Resource USA and got training in management development programs at IIM and L&T, trained by many industry leaders in various functions. And sir has a corporate experience of 33 plus years, management and consulting of 4 years, technical and research and development, international sourcing for 4 years, branding and communication training of 3 years, and marketing research of sales of 23 years. So, sir, I would like to cordially invite on behalf of faculties and students of BA Honors Department, and we are eagerly waiting us to enlighten this session. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Siddharth.
Can I start, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Very good morning, one and all. I sincerely thank Dr. Madhipurani for the wonderful opportunity given to me for sharing my knowledge with all of you. I'm very happy, especially Coimbatore is very close to my heart, because Coimbatore people are very energetic, unlike other people of Tamil Nadu. They are more aggressive and they are more future oriented and all the thing. Because I had moved with a lot of Coimbatore people, still I have a lot of friends at Coimbatore. Okay, today we are going to talk about business strategies in VUCA world. I would like to split it out and make it very simple, but it is not very simple. At the end of the session, you will know it is so tough, but I will make it very simple for you to understand so that you can handle the problem very easily. First, we will try to see what is strategy. The strategy word was coined during war, when to attack, when to retrieve, which use to be used, which force should be kept held, or what are the positions to be used, methodology to be used to get the objective of winning the war. So the strategy, the word was coined during wartime, basically to get the result through different ways and methods by which minimize utilization of resources and ensuring that minimum damage is happening to us and then getting the best result. Okay, so that is called a strategy. So this strategy, we need to do it in the business also, because business have resource allocations, we have fund, manpower, material, all these things will come. Anyway, you are in the second year. When you are completing fourth year, you detail about business management. But basically, a strategy is to find from where we are now to go where we want to go. Okay, and the methods by which we want to achieve that. That is called strategy. So don't get confused with a lot of definition. That definition can be used for your academic purpose, but for understanding purpose, strategy is a plan of action. Okay, the plan of action on a long term, not on a short term. When you're doing on a short term, then it is called tactics. That is not called as strategy. So where we are now to where we want to go, and the methods by which how we are going to go there is called a strategy. 64% of the company say that their company is good or excellent in formulating the strategy appropriate in changing market conditions. That means 100% of the companies, that means all the companies will follow some strategy or not. But only 64% of the company change the strategy, formulate strategy appropriate in changing market conditions. What is changing in market conditions? Current situation, pandemic, which none of us expected it. Okay, so this pandemic never expected in the month of January. We never thought that we are going to use this digital platform so much. We never thought that we are not able to attend colleges, but we have to continue studies and all the things. But it is happening. We never thought that we can live without going for a movie for 4 months. Now it's 4 months over. None of us could visit any big theater. So all these things are changing market conditions. So basically, your business objectives, what do we want to achieve? That means you create a strategy. How can we achieve it? Create an action plan. That action plans are short-term action plans are called tactics. So the things we will do to get there, what we want to achieve our objectives. That is called strategy. Now, we will try to understand what is VUCA world. VUCA world, currently people call the change in dynamic behavior of the business environment is called VUCA world. VUCA means volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguity. That means now it is highly volatile, highly uncertain, highly complex, and ambiguous. So this is how the business, earlier it was not like that. So this VUCA world is also coined during the Warfield, because Warfield situations are highly volatile, highly uncertain, and it is more complex, and it is ambiguous also. So in order to be successful in business, whatever business you are doing business for 100 years, now your grandfather or your father, and now you are going to take over, unless and otherwise you upgrade yourself to handle the current business situation. Because even your great-grandfather, your grandfather, or your father have never faced the situation like this. In our lifetime, last 120 years, none of us faced the situation like this of pandemic of corona. So the environment has changed. The market conditions are changing. The spending will come down. So many things is going to happen. This is only the way we started. Okay, it will be spread over. According to Philip Kotler, I was attending to Philip Kotler's one of the webinar. He was saying that it will take minimum 4 years to 6 years to reach the same state where we were in November 2019. November 2019 state, if you want to reach, it will take minimum 4 years, maximum 6 years, depending upon the nation, how fast they are regaining their positions. That is Mr. Philip Kotler's statement. Okay, how much we can go with that? It is an overall average of the entire world. So some countries may go up fast, some countries may go slow, because it's a Europe country and all. It will take a long time to get into the things, because they are much concerned about the things. Okay. So now we will understand what is VUCA. Volatility is changes occur much more often than before and require continuous analysis and evaluation. Today you might have seen that you might have assumed that when you are getting in a month of Audi, all the textile people will think that we will get a business of 30%, 40% jump. None of us expected this Audi. No one can visit the shop. Very few people are coming. And how come you can expect that? And everyone don't want to spend money on the dress. Earlier people used to buy a lot. Now they are reducing it. Why? They want to keep a reserve. Many people are losing job. Many people are changing the job. Many people are changing the living place itself. People are moving. Many people are moving out of the place where they are working. They are going back to their hometown. IT companies are changing their methodology. So the people living standard, everything is changing. So what happened? This is a highly volatile situation. And uncertainty. Uncertainty is we are not able to get, we are not able to predict, we are unable to predict and prioritize factors which can influence the situation. Because what will happen tomorrow, no idea. What will happen after 10 months, we do not know. What will happen after 3 months, no idea. Because the people are saying that who is giving a fresh warning saying that the second wave is likely to come. So it is going to be much more worse. So what they are saying is, so we do not know what is going to happen. It is clear, uncertain. And it is very complex because we do not know what will happen because of that. Many products are coming from some country, our big brother China, now got affected. The price has increased by 24%. Okay. So any product, if you are depending upon China, it is going to affect the supply chain. For all the products, not only for, including Tirupur, I was told the dresses are ready, the zippers used to come from China, it seems that is not coming. Because of that, it's a huge material are held up in the our place, it seems. So it is highly complex because it is changing the entire business scenario of the globe, not only our country. Ambiguity. Information is difficult to interrupt. Past experience is not applicable at all because we never had this type of experience. We never had, none of us had this type of experience. So we do not know how to respond. Forget about reacting. Reacting, if you do, you will die. You have to respond. Even we do not know how to respond. That is the biggest problem now. Is it going to be like this? No. It is going to change. When it will change? There are different predictions across the world. I am also having my predictions. I basically divide the sectors into essential sectors and core engineering and non-essential sectors. Core engineering, core services is the second. First stage, the recovery state, what will happen is, first stage recovery will happen on all the pharma industries, hospitals, food, agricultural, chemicals and e-commerce. Food means not hotel. Food means food processing, food packing. People are becoming more conscious about the health of the food. So that is how the first recovery can happen. When it will happen, no idea. It depends upon our how we are able to control the pandemic. Accordingly, we can have it can consider. Okay, but this is going to be in the first stage. The second stage will be non-recovery sectors will be manufacturing and core sectors, because manufacturing and service sectors are the most important, contributing more than 65 to 70% of India's GDP, maybe around 80% also, because around 18 to 20% only our agriculture sector is contributing. So in manufacturing and service sectors and renewable energies, solar, wind, all these things, capital goods, retail, all these things will happen. So this is going to happen in the second stage. Third stage only we will be getting your other sectors, that is hotels, restaurants, malls, entertainment areas, amusement parks, any luxury products, all these things. Okay. So how we can be successful? Only persistence, nothing else. If you are persistent, and then only you can achieve your goal. So only persistence, you can achieve your goal, because you do not know how long you have to wait to get your results. So the persistence is very, very important. Patience is different. Persistence is different. Hope you know about what is the difference between patience and persistence. This is a growth projection given by IMF after June 2020. That means there are three possible scenarios. Global economy is going to boom at least 10% next year. Increase. That means minus it is going to be -5. It is going to be plus 5.5. So it is approximately 10.5% global economy is bounced back. Advanced countries or advanced economies, it is likely to increase to approximately 12.8, which is equivalent to 13% jump. Developing markets and developing economies, it is going to be 9%. So wherever it may be, minimum is going to be 9% jump. Maximum it can going to be around 13% jump is going to be there. On an average, it is going to be around 10%, which is huge. India, if you take it, we were around 6.1, 6.2 or something. It was there for the last 1.5 years. And from there, we are going to be achieving around minimum of 10, maximum of 13. That is going to be a huge jump. So this is not, I'm saying it based on my experience alone. Even our RBI governor, Mr. Shakti Das, Shakti Kanta Das, has told the same thing in 27th July. It is in the Economic Times also, it has come. These 5 major areas he is saying that we need to focus to develop. First one is farming and agriculture sectors. Second is energy mix, renewable energy, that is solar, wind, ocean, and all other renewable energy. That mix is going to change. Now, we may not be depending upon coal because we may have to import something and all the things are going to be there. Very, very important with respect to business people, leveraging ICT and shift in global chain management. ICT, I'm going to talk. What is ICT is information, communication, technology, adoption into manufacturing or servicing sectors is called ICT. I'm going to discuss in detail. And infrastructure development, like all type of infrastructures, rail ports, road and airports and power, medical, etc. All these things has to go substantially increase so that it goes into the higher level. Before getting into that, before forming out what are the suggested strategies, I would like you to see where we are now. That is the first slide I put, strategy to be formed only once you know where you are and where you want to go, you can. So this is data given by World Bank on global competitiveness of India among 141 countries. So we are ranking around the 68th position vis-a-vis all other countries. Approximately around 50 positions are 141, it is approximately 72. We are in the midway, probably are in the midway. That means before us, almost around 65 people are there who can do better business than us, who are more competitive than us. Okay, there is no need for any other country to come to us. Okay, the very important point, what you need to see it here is, we are in the lower middle income group. It's very, very important issue. Lower middle income group, we will be earning less than $6,000. Okay, so that is the reason it is put as a lower middle income group. Actually, our earning will be average earning, as according to the government estimate, is somewhere around $2,995 per year. Average earning of the India, what you are putting it. Okay, if you see it, lower middle income group average, countries like us in the sense is, even Sri Lanka has crossed above us. So Sri Lanka is not lower middle income, they have gone to upper middle income. Bhutan, Pakistan, Bangladesh, what other countries? All these countries only lower middle income group people. So we are one among them. Okay, China is upper middle income. Okay, and Sri Lanka has gone to upper middle income and all. And Singapore is also an upper middle income country. So if you see at this point, this arrow mark, here if you see, here in ICT, average of middle income group average is somewhere around 48 or 50. We are around 32. Very, very low. Okay. I will tell what it means. Other points, we are little above all the average. This is South Asia's average is square. South Asia average also we are low because we are lower than South Asia average. Here all other places we are little above. But before going into see it where we want to go, we were saying that we want to capture all the business from across the globe. India is going to be the global manufacturing hub. All the people are going to come. Definitely they are going to come. I'm not saying that they are not going to come. Whether India is going to get the business or our small brothers, Vietnam, Cambodia, Indonesia, Thailand, all those people are going to get business, we do not know. But the world is not going to depend upon China. That is one thing is very clear. So the people want to move out of China. When the people want to move out of China, the easiest possible for them is to identify a place where they can grow. When they are looking at India, we are on the, what is the position is, we are in the position of 68th rank. Okay. So 68th position when we are, other people who are above us, who are cost competitive, they will have to go over there. And it's surprising, you see it, last year we were holding 58th position. Last year we were holding 58th position. Now we are holding 68th position. In 1 year, we lost 10 positions. Not because we have not grown, but because we allowed other people to grow faster. And we are going to see it. It is surprising to see who are the people who grown faster than us. Where is our big brother, China? They are holding a rank of 28. Last year also they hold the rank of 28. And when it comes to ICT, they are scoring a rank of 78. And upper middle income group average is somewhere around 58, 60. Again, they are much ahead. You see it everywhere they are ahead. Okay. I'm not saying that China is better. I am only saying that where we need to improve. Definitely China is growing because of all these things only. Let us compare with respect to China and India. Almost all sectors except the market size, all 13 segments, we need to grow to catch up that. Then only our prices will be competitive to the international market. Otherwise, people will not be coming to us. So you saw it, now you see it. Vietnam, Philippines, Indonesia, Thailand are the countries who grown bigger than us, and they achieved the status of being more competitive than India in last 2 to 3 years itself. So Indonesia, Philippines, Vietnam are the recent got into that more competitive people. Which is very easily you can see it. Now on huge business have moved out of India. You must be knowing about or read it in the newspapers. POSCO, a steel company, is the world's largest Korean steel making company, stainless steel manufacturing company. They want to move 100% out of China. Say they immediately scouted. Of course, they came to India, but we took long time to decide and respond and all the things. Before that, they announced announced a plant in another Asian country. Because they have developed, they are changing, and we are thinking of changing. That is the difference. Okay. Now, this is China is the world's manufacturing superpower. Everyone knows about it. Vis-a-vis, what is our level? If let us assume if China is contributing around 28.4% of the global manufacturing requirement, okay, we are contributing only 3% of it. Suppose if you take 100% is the global manufacturing output requirement, 28.4% is coming from China. From India, it's only 3% is going. And now there is a huge potential. And this information is from Statista, who you must be knowing about it, is a most reliable organization. Another information I took it from AmCham China, because AmCham China is also another market research company. They are predicting it, if the business moves out of China, where it will go. Okay. 20% to developed Asia, that means Singapore, Malaysia and all is developed Asia. 30% will go to Europe, America and all the places. Approximately 49% will still come to developing Asia, which includes India, Vietnam, Thailand, Indonesia, all the countries. So 50% of the business, that means 50% of 28.4 is likely to get shifted to India. I don't think it will be possible to go to Europe because the cost will be high. Again, it will not be possible to go to developed Asia because again the cost will be high. So the possibility is 50% of this may get shifted to that developing Asia. Developing Asia, if you are getting 50%, it is approximately 15% of China's contribution to the global manufacturing output. 15% coming there. Even if we take 50% of it to India, which is double, that means currently we are doing 3, and another it is going to be another 7% we are going to add up. That means going to be 10%. So huge jump India is going to have it, provided if we are capable and upgrading ourselves. So from where China is doing a lot of business. This is China's biggest export throughout the world. This information is also available in the internet. Including to India, they are exporting approximately 77 billion worth of items to India. Okay. Why they are exporting, what is the price, policy, all these things, if you can work out and we can read. But this is a potential for all of us to capture and grow. Because now many people, especially in Europe and USA, they realize that it's over dependent on China. Okay. So they don't want to reduce, they want to reduce their dependency with China. So they will be very happy to do business with other countries, provided we are competitive. So this is a huge market for us. Again, people must be knowing about you. You are in the undergraduate student. So some of you will have your factory, some of you may not have your factories. But yeah, this is how the product comes. This is how the product actually come to the market. That means if you get some ideas, that ideas cannot bring out a product. In a typical methodology of manufacturing, the many ideas will come. They select some concept. Out of that selected concept, some design they will make it, and then do the design validation and engineering validation. All these things will happen. Whoever is having industry, they know it. Whoever does not have the industry also will come to know by reading it also. But it has to go through a lot of process before getting into the market. When you are going to this, so many process, currently what we are doing is, we do it based on our experience, we do it based on our information, we do it based on the instructions. But we don't follow any proper systems. That's the reason ISO and all came. Okay, ISO and all many people have got, and ISO certified company and all, they make it. But very few people only implement and work as per ISO. ISO is a documentation procedure, they will think. Whereas if you see any big companies who is doing a lot of exports, especially in Coimbatore and Tirupur area, they have to follow the system. So that system will be documentation. So in Coimbatore belt, you will not have the problem. You will have a complete proper documentation of all the process and all the methodologies might be documented well. But what is very important we are going to talk is, the change in product life cycle. Product life cycle is what? The concept when you are introducing when the product dies. Easy understanding, you will take a mobile phone. Today, OnePlus is launched in U4, which is starting around $27,000. Available from Amazon, it seems on 6th onwards. Okay. So, what is he saying it? This, when before designing this product, they might have taken how long this will be in the market. And the experts might have told it may be in the market for 6 months. Okay, how much time it will take to manufacture this product? Experts again say that it may take around another 4 months it will take it. So 4 plus 6, 10 months. So the product life cycle of a particular mobile phone, for example, we took OnePlus now, it is going to be maximum 10 months. In 10 months, 4 months will go in developing a product, testing the product, validating the product, checking the product, correcting the product, all other things. So literally we are left only 6 months. So we have to recover entire money within 6 months. If you are not going to recover entire money within 6 months, whatever money you have invested on the product, you will lose. So earlier, if you remember, most of you may not be knowing it, you can check up with your dad and mom. They will be saying it. Anything if you say it, no, like no phone. That time and all we had a ordinary phone. That phone, I don't think people might have changed once in maybe minimum of some 7-8 years. Ordinary landline phone I'm talking about. Okay, which does not have much more information, or later people came out with the what you call answering machine built in, speaker phone built in, cardless phones, all these things came. But all other things, it was still the life cycle of that phone was more. Why to talk about phone? You take an example of a car. Earlier, Premier Badmini, Ambassador was there. Minimum 7 years. Today, the life cycle of a product is almost, for a car, is around 2 to 3 years. The same model car, you cannot sell it after 2 years. Maximum is 2 to 3 years. So, what you have to recover that in 7 months or 8 years, 7 years or 8 years, now you have to recover it in 2 years. So, what I am trying to say is the strategy what your dad applied, what you had applied earlier, what your grandfather has applied, what your great grandfather applied cannot be applicable now. Whatever you study also may not be applicable. That is how, because of change in scenario of product life cycle reduction. What is product life cycle? Documentation of the entire process. Most of us, we do ERP and pat ourselves saying that, oh, our company is computerized. That is only 10 to 12% of your business is computerized. Product data management, have you done a management data analysis? No. Supply chain management, customer relationship management, manufacturing execution system management. If you do everything and link the everything, then only it is called as product lifecycle management. So what is the benefit of product lifecycle management? It makes a huge benefit. When a lot of things are coming up, it reduces your cost by 20 to 30%. Cost, I'm not talking about the price. It reduces your cost by 20 to 30%. One small example I'll tell you. In this, so many processes, this is a very simple process I took. In actual industry, it is much more. Here, out of this concept, we select one concept. On what basis this concept has been selected? Let us assume that that company hired me as a president. I was in that company as a president, and I selected the concept. The concept was successful and we were very good. But why other 4 concepts I have not selected? There is no reason. Why I selected this concept, there is no reason. Because they're selected by a president, we go along with that. So if I leave that company, the knowledge goes away from your company. Whereas if you maintain the thing, what means if you are putting it on your data, saying that the selection of this concept based on these factors, I selected this concept. Based on these factors, I have not selected this concept. And that is how we choose the concept and work it out. In that case, what happens is the knowledge stays within the company. So next time somebody want to produce a product for that type of thing, they need not reinvent the wheel. They need not reinvent the wheel. Okay. So what happens is they will be working with that and they can come out with the product very fast. That means your lead time, that is the time to market, comes down drastically by 30 to 40%. One instance and one department I told, like this, every department, every function of all the entire manufacturing cycle. So this is advantage of having product life cycle management. Of course, many companies in India are not doing it. Now they don't have a choice. That's what I'm saying you. Now you don't have a choice. If you are not PLM certified or if you are not implementing PLM, many big companies will not give a business to you. And later they will say that you need to get into Industry 4.0 because Industry 4.0 reduces further 30% or 40% reduction in manpower. We will go with a small story. One elephant and one rat, very good friends. So whenever elephant want to tease the rat, it will say that come, let's go for a play. So elephant and rat will go for the playground and the elephant will go and sit in a seesaw and the rat will try its level best, trying for 20 minutes, 15 minutes, unable to lift. And the elephant will say that you lost the game and rat losing it. Losing every day, rat got so upset. So what it did is, it went and told its brother. The rat's brother is Jerry. Oh, I am not able to lift the elephant. Then he says that what is the big thing in lifting the elephant? I can lift the elephant. I am also, you can lift the elephant. Of course I can lift the elephant. Okay. Then you tell that, okay, tomorrow instead of me, my brother will come and he will play with you. The elephant asks you, your brother is also a rat or some other animal? No, he is also a rat. Okay. He want to lift me? The elephant laughed. Yes, because there is rat played. Yeah, my brother Jerry told me that he can lift you. So next day morning, the rat brought the Jerry. Elephant came and sat. And now Jerry lifted it. That is called a smart working. How it is possible to lift? You know the weight of an elephant, you know the weight of a rat or a Jerry. It is huge difference. But still, Jerry lifted the elephant. Any guess? People say that, okay, it may be a cartoon, it may be possible. In reality also it is possible because Jerry knows how to shift the pivot point. What is this pivot point? The blue color one is the pivot point. If you keep this pivot point here, the force applied multiplies by the distance. So here the force applied multiplies by the distance. So whichever force is more, that side will go down, which side will go up. So now, earlier the pivot point was somewhere here, it shifted the pivot point to this. Now the force applied by the elephant, weight and this distance, which is Jerry and this distance. That's how, by shifting the pivot point, it can lift the elephant also. But shifting the pivot point, how Jerry knows, how the other rat does not know, because that other rat has never upgraded itself, whereas Jerry has upgraded himself by studying what are the smart working methods and effective and efficient methods. Same thing is applicable in our business also. Many times we believe that elephant cannot be lifted. We cannot compete with anybody, international fellows, especially when the people are competing from Europe. Our quality will never match. This is all mindset bullshit. Mindsets we have. We are capable because everyone has the same amount of brain. Okay, everyone has the same amount of brain. Everyone has the same amount of 1,330 grams of brain. Just because they're born in America, they're born in US, they're born in UK, they are not going to be much more intelligent people than you and me. It is possible, but we have to equip ourselves. If you are not equipped, you are living like an ordinary rat, or you want to be a smart rat, you decide. Whether you want to be a Jerry, you want to be a ordinary rat. The moment you became a Jerry, you can do everything. So here you see it. Approximately 21 arrows have been shot. Out of 21 arrows, only 2 arrows hit the bull. Bull is the yellow color point. So only 2 arrows hit the bull. I mean, that bull also not at the center. One point at the extreme end of the bull, one point somewhere in the middle of a bull. Okay. So here what happens is 21 arrows have been shot. That is the time and effort and energy of the person has been spent on sending 21 arrows, out of which he got only 2 arrows, which is also not at the exact center. Whereas see this picture. Here, what happens is only 3 arrows have been shot, and all 3 arrows are at the center of the, what you call, bull, achieving the maximum. So similarly, I am also telling to all of you, we have to increase our effectiveness and efficiency. Effectiveness is using very less number of arrows hitting the center point. And efficiency is when I put 5 arrows, on 5 arrows, 4 arrows hit the bull and 1 arrow is out of bull, then 4 by 5 is equal to 80% is our efficiency. So we have to improve our effectiveness as well as our efficiency. So entire India, our effectiveness and efficiency is much low compared to any other country whom we are planning to compete. So it is not only applicable for Tamil Nadu, Pondicherry, Kerala, Karnataka, Andhra, Telangana, you name any other states. All the states, our effectiveness is much far below than any of our countries whom we want to compete. So unless otherwise we make ourselves, it is not possible for us to change it. Okay, so this is very important. So you know about the brain. I talked about the brain. So most of us, some people must be knowing it, some people may not be knowing it. See, there are left side brain and right side of the brain. Left side brain people are more of system oriented, analytical, logical, reasoning, language, written skills, numbers, all these things are left side brain. Right side brain people are creativity, imagination, intuition, insight, emotions, all these things are right side people. Whoever is doing engineering mostly will be on the left side people, because we talk a lot of logical, we talk of systematical, we talk of numbers, we talk of maths, we talk of science, all these things. Wherever people who are doing management or people who are doing arts, science or literatures, they are more creative, they are more intuitive, they are more imaginative, they are art awareness, they have a lot of holistic thought. All these things will be there on the right side people. So unless otherwise we use both left and right together, both left and right together, we cannot succeed. So when we are not in a position to succeed, then what will happen is the people who are using both left and right brain will succeed. So why we are unable to succeed? Because we are not knowing the fact of using entire portion of our brain. Okay, so what we need to do is you have to train your left brain if you are a right side person, right brain person, or if you are a left brain person, you have to train your right brain also, so that you should know how to handle it. In management jargon, we used to call switching the quadrant. That means we divide the brain into 4 quadrants, and which quadrant to talk on one. When somebody is talking logically, you need to respond to him in a logical way. When somebody is talking emotionally, you should also talk to him in an emotional way. When somebody is talking with more creativity, you should also talk to him in the creative angle. So that is called switching the quadrants. Okay. So how a leader can happen, how the leadership can happen is he should know what direction he should go, and agreement in the group, the direction the entire company has to go on, and aligning entire organization to that direction, and with a commitment. So the difference between excellence and mediocrity is only a commitment. Okay, the commitment, if somebody is committed and he will be completely doing the job without reminding. So that's why it's called DAC. Direction, alignment, commitment. If you person has it, he will be a successful leader. Because without direction, without alignment of the company's goal, individual goals to company's goal, without commitment of every employee and his own commitment, he will not become a successful leader. Okay. So knowledge is knowing a tomato is a fruit. So all of us study a lot of management, lot of books, lot of things you are studying it. So knowledge comes from learning, but we know it is a fruit. But wisdom is what? Wisdom is application of knowledge in a way which gets a desired result. Okay, wisdom is not applying knowledge alone. In a way, we get a desired result. We know that since we got a knowledge, we know that tomato is a fruit. But just because it's a fruit, you should not put it in a fruit salad. So wisdom is knowing not to put it in the fruit salad is called wisdom. Of course, you can put tomato in a salad, not in fruit salad. Fruit salad, even though it is a fruit, it cannot be put in a fruit salad. So when we apply our knowledge properly and achieve the desired results, then it is called wisdom. Okay. So let me sum it up. As I explained to you, there are huge potential opportunities for all of us. Many competitors within Asia are there to attract all the businesses. Definitely, the business is not going to go outside India or outside Asia, because everywhere it is going to be much more expensive. Much more expensive in the sense is the cost of living. Like, the business will not go to France, business will not go to Italy, business will not go to Germany, business will not go to UK or USA, anywhere, because the cost is very high. Whereas the potential for the business gets shifted to India is very high. But India is not the alone competitor. Within Asia, we have many people and everyone is trying to attract it. And believe it, beware of it. Even China will not allow any business to move out. They will do anything to hold back their business also. So what I am trying to say is we have to increase our capabilities to be competitive, to attract companies into India. See, capabilities is, I am talking about individual capabilities and organizational capabilities put together. Individual capability is, no, I got an MBA degree. Oh, you got an MBA degree, excellent. But MBA degree is what? You studied few books, you wrote some exams, you applied some knowledge, and you wrote some case studies, all these things. But will it be sufficient? It will not be sufficient. So what is the capability is what is happening around the world today. Do you know about that? Suppose if you are saying that, okay, we studied engineering, but you have not studied PLM, product lifecycle management, which may not be taught in a management because it may not be in the syllabus. So what will happen is you will not be successful. You do not know what is Industry 4.0 implementation, then you will not be successful. And if you are saying that I will be using some technology which was my great grandfather told me, ledger following up and all the things. Now I will come out with the technology saying that, sir, why don't you replace all your clerks which are doing a repeated job of data entry, data retrieval. How you can do it? I can come out with the business process automation method by which all your employees, around 60 people are there who are doing a repeated job of data entering. I will remove all 60 people with one BPA tool, which will be installed in your computer. 24 hours it will work. So what you will, as a businessman, what you will think? What is the investment? And you will say that there are three departments: finance department, accounts department, and finance department, marketing department, and production department. Everywhere there are 20 people are doing this repeated job. What is their job? They have to entry it and they have to report it, when they have to create it and again do the reporting. So basically they have to keep on entering it. That's all. Yeah. Okay. And they have to make an analysis of that, and somebody is asking a quote, then people have to prepare the quote and send it. That is the marketing department. Okay. What is the manufacturing? Manufacturing will take the data based on the store's data and allocate the resources as and when the people are wanting it. Okay. That means there is no thinking activity. Yeah, no thinking activity. It is collection of data from one end and distributing the data to some other place. That is the activity these all 60 people are doing it. Fine. So if I say that, okay, all 60 people can be removed and I am going to charge you 10 lakhs per annum. 10 lakhs per annum only. Yes, 10 lakhs per annum. And all the people will be removed. The whole job can be done. Then first time you say that how it is possible, you have to tell me justification. I will give the justification, tell all the things. But I will come out to the second thing. To understand and making it a automated things, we need to design and create a software for which we need to take time, for which may be charging around 10 to 12 lakhs. Even then what happened? 60 people per month you are paying that, approximately you are paying around 30,000 rupees. Okay, 60 people into 30,000 rupees. How much money you are spending it every month into 12 months. So what happens is, when you are spending that much amount of money, 60 people into 1,800 into 30,000 people, 30,000 rupees. Okay, it is approximately 18 lakhs per month into 12 lakhs. Approximately per year of spending 2 lakh 16 crores. Okay, which I am going to replace it in, say, approximately around 40-45 lakhs. So you will recover it in 2 months, money invested. Then why you are going to have 60 people? Because if you have 60 people, you have to provide them space, air conditioning, lighting, ventilation, all these things has to be. So that is called Industry 4.0. Which is going to come, is already coming up. Okay. So if you are continue to do, how you will be competitive with the international people? You will not be competitive. That's the reason I'm saying that you have to increase your capabilities, not only your organization capabilities, but also your individual capability. Okay. Change your way of thinking. ICT adoption, information communication technology adoption in manufacturing and service sector. We have seen it. RBI governor is also saying the same thing only. I am telling it for the past 4 years. Nobody is listening. Okay, I am not going to be the loser. No, my responsibility is to tell to the people. Whoever is listening to me are gaining it. Okay, I am seeing it. Since I had been in the industry for a long time, I know what is going to happen, and when I am predicting it, and it is happening. Skills and innovation needs to be improved substantially. I had been to China empty number of times. Every Chinese is equal to minimum of 4 Indians. Minimum of 4 Indians. Even an uneducated, illiterate Chinese employee will be equal to 4 Indians. Uneducated, illiterate. Again. Talk about educated guys, they work much more hard. They study a lot. They do so many things. So they are also much more efficient than us. Remember that most of our Asian competitors are more competitive than us in the world ranking. You have seen it yourself. Indonesia, Thailand, Vietnam are better than us. They are no way better than us. And to surprisingly, we see international global competitiveness. If you ask who is number one person is Singapore. He is the most competitive, global competitive. The data is available in the internet. You can Google it and you can download the entire report, Global Competitiveness Report. 2020, not yet ready, maybe ready by end of September, October, but 2019 is very relevant. So many sectors we are behind, you can see it. So when you are in business, okay, you have to stay committed to your decision, but stay flexible in your approach. Why I say stay flexible? You are committed to your growth. You are committed to your objective. You are committed to your business objectives of achieving certain things. Okay. But you have to stay flexible. Why you have to stay flexible? Because you do not know which strategy will work. You have to learn, apply different strategies till achieve your business objectives, for which you have to continuously use your brain. Many more methods are available. Plenty of things are changing, scenario is happening. But this is a time, if you are making use of your time, and you can survive. I am not threatening. I am just telling you in advance. If you are not upgrading, I was just talking to some of my Japanese friend. Okay, and that Japanese friend, he was saying that he asked me, "Hey Kumar, what is the meaning of a illiterate?" I was just joking that. Then I asked him, "Okay, are you testing my English or what?" That is what I asked him. He said, "No. I just want you to answer." I told an illiterate is a person who doesn't understand, read or write any language. That's all. Unnecessary English. It can be Tamil also, correct? Because English is not our mother tongue. He laughed and I asked him, "Why you are laughing?" He says that in your country that is a definition. In our country the definition is different. I told illiterate, the definition is throughout the world the same only. It cannot be changing. He says, no. Illiterate is a grammatical meaning you are talking about. For us, illiterate is a person who does not upgrade and update themselves. Over last month to this month is an illiterate. It was a shocking news. Over last month to this month, if I have not upgraded my knowledge, if I have not upgraded my skills, if I have not upgraded my intelligence, if I have not upgraded my wisdom, then I will be called as an illiterate. It's a striking thought, correct? And I do not know how many of us will be illiterate. So that is how the world is changing. That is how the world is going. So we need to respond to the world of VUCA world. So we have to learn different business strategies. And without business strategies, nothing is possible to get your objectives. And many strategies are not written in the book because they have never seen. Now, whatever strategy is being practiced, whatever strategy is being taught will not be applicable. Even if you apply, you will not get the result because no one has seen last 100 years such a pandemic. So business strategy has to be new, has to be different for every company, has to be different for every organization, and depending upon their market condition, situations, analysis, we have to go. You may have to depend upon some of the learned persons or as a mentor or a consultant, or you can learn everything and you can be. But you cannot live and exist in the business whatever you learned so far. That is form. Okay. With this, I will end my session. Thank you so much for a wonderful day, and I am available for your question and answers. So whoever want to ask questions can raise their hand, then that person will be unmuted.
Sir, thank you very much. That was a very informative session, sir.
Thank you.
One small, that's not a question. I just want you to share us with some few examples of these kind of changing strategies which happened with any of the companies, because you are consulting with many of the companies, whether it is management or engineering. So if you can give us small changes which you handled in terms of strategy to achieve the target or objective of the organization.
Yeah.
For them, it will be more insightful. Thank you.
One, I'll start with some international example, and then I'll come to our Indian example.
Yes.
You must be knowing about Subway. Subway is a very big chain of restaurants. They used to supply sandwiches and things like that. Okay. When the pandemic came, now how many of you know that Subway is selling the groceries?
Yeah.
Across the globe, they are selling the groceries because for them, the business is to make sandwiches. They are very good in making their own buns and things like that. And people are not coming to eat. What to do? So they know that they will get the best vegetables. They know where it is available. They are buying it and they are selling it. They change the strategies of, because they never thought that they are going to be things. Like, I have a association with one 5-star hotel at Chennai. Okay, they have come out with that. They asked me how to do, because they have around 180 housekeeping staff. 180 housekeeping staffs. This 181 housekeeping staff, that company MD was determined, I'm not going to throw the people. I'm going to keep the people with us. So we have to find a way to how to employ them. So now what happened is, sanitization of big companies, commercial buildings, they are doing it on chargeable basis. So sanitization of big companies, commercial establishment, they will not go for cleaning. You have to clean and keep it ready. They come and sanitize because they are experts in sanitizing things, because they know how to maintain a 5-star hotel hygiene and all the things. So instead of keeping the rooms, they are keeping the entire factory, their factory buildings, commercial establishments and all. So the sanitization is a huge business. Now the same, they are diversifying now. Now earlier we used to get some item, food item will cost you 1,200 rupees. Now they are converting into lunch box and sending that lunch boxes to all the people. So they never thought that they will be selling lunch boxes. Today, that's why I told you the sector is going to take minimum of another 3 to 4 years of entertainment and hotels and restaurants. People will come and eat with fearless. I'm not saying it throughout the world. In India, it may take 9 months, 6 months, or 10 months, or 12 months. But throughout the world, it is going to take minimum of 3 to 4 years to have the same level of what November 2019. So that is how the people have to change. We do not know what is going to happen, because many companies here, I am seeing it in Chennai itself, they change. Sangeeta has closed down almost around 18 restaurants. They have around 32, 35 restaurants. They say that it is not viable to operate with 32, 35. Many people are labor dependent, or North Indians and other people who moved away from their hometown to Chennai for doing business. They moved out now. Getting back is very difficult. Accommodating is very difficult. So everything is changing. So lot of changes are happening and likely to happen much more.
Yeah. Yeah, very true, sir. Even in my own place, I've seen this call taxi people now selling vegetables, because they, whatever the resource they have in hand, now they have to do something. All these the caterers, the occasion caterers, now they started sending foods, like as you told, lunch boxes. They are sending like Swiggy. They are operating with all packaged and combo foods, because the resources are lying idle, so they have to make use of the resources. They're just trying it. I don't know how long they'll be able to withstand like this now, sir. That is one thing. The other question, sir, so now that we are all aware that India is going to be one of the important hub for all the sourcing destinations, now diverted from China. So we are all looking forward that we get more opportunities for the business, for FDI or for collaborations or whatever. So one side, this is the prospect which is being shown to us. On the other side, we're all struggling to operate today. So we don't know tomorrow we'll be able to operate this factory. We don't know how long we'll get the orders. If you see knitting, we have a knitting factory, sir. So if you see today we have an order, tomorrow we don't know. And the next thing we are not aware is that we don't know whether we'll be paid or not. We are somehow making that and sending it. So one side it shows good light on us. On the other side, how to survive today, or how to survive tomorrow. So when will this be mapped, sir? How to converge into this?
It's a very good question, Dr. Madhipurni. Because what happened is, Tirupur incidents, or the business of Tirupur, or knitting industry business, has lost not because of anybody, but because of ourselves. The reason is we increased, increased, and we keep on increasing, added people, the cost goes up. You know what is the cost of a tailor, you know what is the cost of the things. What was it earlier, and keep on increasing it. Everybody is trying to grab our other business. No? Assuming that you have a big factory and you are growing. The moment I see that Dr. Madhipurni is growing, I will also put up a factory next to you. The same thing, I will start managing it. So you are selling it $7, I will come and start selling it at $6.50.
Exactly, exactly.
This is why I am an Indian crab. I keep on pulling your leg and you pull my leg. We both pull each other's leg. Finally, what happened? At one point of time, below $4.5, we are unable to make a t-shirt. Both of us could not sell. Bangladesh or Sri Lanka will sell and they'll get the business from us. That is how it has moved. Because crowding, we should do it. Like, that's the reason I say collaboration. Like, you are doing t-shirts, very good. Next time, when I get a business, ma'am, I am going to do export business, but I am not going to get into manufacturing of t-shirts, but I would like to collaborate with you for doing a t-shirt business. Okay, if I get an order, I will give it to you and you produce it and supply. Then I'll be happy. So what you will say is, fine, I don't mind paying you some amount of share of my profit. So I will focus on shirt, you will focus on t-shirts. So what will happen? We build together. Madhipurni goes and she can get a business of shirt. She will give it to me. And when she get a business of t-shirt, she can do it. Similarly, when I go and get a business of t-shirt, I will come and give it to you. When I do a business of shirts, I will do it. And just a simple example, I'm saying it. Like this, we have to collaborate. But what we are doing it, the moment you see one new mall is coming up, immediately we'll put another mall. Next to that itself, we'll put another mall. And you say that we can make 30% profit is possible, 40% profit is possible. The rate of interest in India is much high, not like Europe. There is 2%, 1% and all. So this is all we are spoiling ourselves because of the Indian crab mentality. The only way we can grow is reduce manpower, because we cannot afford to pay the cost of manpower every day and it keeps on increasing. So that is the reason I keep on telling it ICT automation. Information,
but in that case, like as you now told, sir, these kind of initiatives or collaborative things should happen in the association level. Like we have a Tirupur Export Association, we have CITRA, we have SIMA, and we have several industry-oriented associations. So when these associations sit and discuss on this, rather than taking every individual their own strategies, will that be able to be connected to the associations? Will there be any role for these associations?
No. What I will say it, but many people will not agree it. See, the thing is, that's why I told, whatever I did yesterday cannot be applied today. Because today onward, the business is not there. I have a friend who is at Chennai, who is doing a lot of leather garments. Okay. 68% of the order lost. First month. Second month, 77% of the order lost. Third month, 94% of the order lost. Gone. So he is the third biggest in India. He is my classmate. Third biggest in India of leather garments. So he didn't do anything. Now what he did is, he don't want to send all the people out. So he operated with less number of people. Then what he switched over to PPE, personal protective equipment manufacturing. Instead of leather, he moved to this. And now he says that this is much more profitable than the leather business. Then I asked him, why you didn't do it earlier? I was not aware of it. I was like a horse. I thought that my grandfather was doing leather business, my father was doing leather business, and we are good in leather business, the same thing. But now the Corona teaches that we can look out different options. So this is really very good for us, all of us. It shaked all of our confidence, Yes. None of us know, whenever we want to talk, we are totally depending upon personal visits and conducting a seminar or conducting a conference room discussions. None of us use this webinar. It was available earlier, but today everyone is using it.
Very true.
So that is how this is. We have to change, a radical change. That's the reason I am conducting that programs on 360-degree radical transformations.
I saw that there was thousands of likes and views on that video. It's going, I saw that. I will definitely see the full video.
Thank you, ma'am.
Any other questions, Kana? We have been discussing.
None, sir.
Yes, please.
My question is, according to you, which country in particular do you think performed really well in being resilient to the pandemic, and what any particular strategy which they implemented which helped them to stay ahead of the other countries, sir?
Taiwan is the best example we can show it. Okay, the moment it was started spreading in the month of December, and January onward they took action. They sealed off the airports. See, what is the same thing? We should have done it also, but we are not aware of it. We never thought that it's going to be coming to India also. See, where is the question? Because when Coimbatore is not infected, what is the possibility of getting infected? Whoever comes to Coimbatore can infect Coimbatore people. Correct? How the people can come? Either by air, or by road, or by rail. Other than these three methods, nobody else can come to Coimbatore, no? So if you seal it off, what will happen? Like what we did it now, if they have done it earlier, then what will happen is, I know very well, I went to Jaipur, that time when Jaipur was handling around 16 people, Corona, and I was returning on the flight on 14th or 16th, I think, if I remember correctly. Airport was same heavy crowd. I went to Institution of Engineers functions on Engineers Day celebration. They invited us as a special guest. So a huge crowd. None of us were wearing a mask. We thought that this doesn't have it. No, it isn't. But that day we were in the airport. We got announcement there are 18 foreign tourists came to Jaipur. They were infected with Corona. I'm in the airport. The news was read. No idea. Okay, we thought that, oh, this is only those people will have it. We never knew about Corona at all. But those people responded. Like you take New Zealand. Responded very well. Now they are putting 0. Taiwan is saying 0. So all these countries who responded well, not reacted well. We are reacting. They responded well. Now we see it. No, even Coimbatore, Chennai, Tamil Nadu, forget about Tamil Nadu, entire India. You see today, 12:30, there is going to be a function. You see the function, how it is being celebrated. I don't know whether it's a Hindu or things. I'm not siding of any religion, but nobody cares. And you go to the mutton stall, fish stalls in the Sunday market, Saturday markets. No? What is the crowd? Who has following any of the things? We don't have any basic discipline. And we have to face it, and that's why I call it as a Darwin's theory. Okay, nature's selection it's called. Okay, nature will select whom it want to carry forward. Whom it want to carry forward. Remember it. You can read it. It's a Darwin theory, nature's theory. It will select whom people it want to carry forward. Those people it will select. It doesn't care your education, doesn't care your qualification, doesn't care about your social status or your wealth. It will select who are the people I want to carry forward, I will collect it. Balance people, I will remove them out. If nature selects us, we are lucky. If it doesn't select us, we are not lucky. That's all. So, the country wise, if you say it, if you have a strong leadership, and everything people should not object. No, if somebody is talking something, immediately there are a lot of objections will come. No, my business is going off. As if he is doing it for his own country. No, but Taiwanese never objected like this. New Zealand people never objected like this. They cooperated. That is the reason. When the government is doing some actions, people should cooperate. Here, government is spending huge amount of money one side. No cooperation from other side, and still we expect that the pandemic to get over. God only can help us.
Sir?
Yes, please.
Sir, my question is that, like, how to redefine organization strategy in today's VUCA world, sir?
It depends upon the organization, depends upon the things. So we cannot give it as a simple, okay, you follow a red ocean strategy, you follow a blue ocean strategy, or like this. We cannot define it. Because we have to, because it is totally different. Nobody, including Philip Kotler, cannot talk. Okay, it is. We have to see this organization. We have to see the market. We have to do the market mapping. We have to do the analysis of the market. What is the market conditions? What is the product? What is the product cost? What benefits you are giving it, and what benefits customer want now after pandemic? All these things changes. That's why I'm saying it to you. Whatever product they designed 3 months before. They might have designed at least 6 months before pandemic, and now it is going to come. Whether it is successful, God only can say. Nobody else can say.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Okay.
Yeah. Yes, sir. That was
Is
excellent.
there any other questions?
Can students Is there any other questions? Can we wind up?
One Vishwa has a question.
Yeah.
He wants me to unmute him. Give him a moment.
Vishwa, you want to ask? Please unmute Vishwa.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon, sir.
Go ahead.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
I would really like to thank you for spending your time, and it was really a wonderful session. So, sir, my doubt is that what is the secret behind Singapore's success? Like, despite being the size of Chennai city, what is the reason behind such huge competitive index?
Yeah, you can see my YouTube channel. There is a lot of videos on it, and whatever I said, Singapore has already implemented. Whatever I have said, nothing has been implemented in India. So that's the reason Dr. Madhipurni ma'am was saying it. I suspected this is going to be like this. So April 14th onwards, I am doing a lot of programs, and I am conducting. In fact, it is free programs. I am not doing a chargeable program. It is free program, and whoever want to attend, you can attend. But with respect to detailed programs, I am conducting some special programs where I go much more detailed. There also I restrict number of people, so you can listen to that. Many things are available in YouTube video. You can listen to that. Everything I have given it. Whatever I have told. See, it is very easy to tell us because we have seen the people. We have seen how China. I am talking about China. I had been to China 12 times. I spent more than some 12 months in China itself. Okay. I traveled each and every nook and corner of China. Entire China I have traveled. Small cities to big cities, interior places, how I culture, everything I know. So that is the reason I am saying it. Okay. Similarly, Singapore also, if you see it, no, those people are very obedient, very sincere. ICT adoption 94%, again 32% of ours. You can listen, because the same questions was asked when I do this program, one of the program, and a person who is from Singapore, he spoke, Pasupati Prasad, he has told that, sir, here if you want to increase our efficiency by 2%, people are ready to spend $2 million. $2 million they are ready to spend for increasing the efficiency by 2%. Because they know it by increasing this efficiency, what benefit they will get it. It's huge benefit. Many people will not understand that. So unless you have your own factory or you are having your own industry where you are going to increase your efficiency, not once you are increasing, you are permanently increasing it, no? So that is a huge benefit you are likely to get. Hope I answered you, Vishwa.
Yes, sir. Yes. Yeah. I think your time is running out, sir. Thank you very much for the time. You're so kind to share all your wisdom, sir. And it's a never-ending questions if we start asking. Probably we will meet in the next session, sir. We will talk with you about your availability.
Okay.
And, please accept our invitation when we go for the next request. Thank you very much, sir. Anybody would like to give any few words to tell anything about the session? Maybe we should unmute them. Okay. You have a session in the evening, sir, today?
I have a session in the evening.
Yeah, I saw that, sir.
I am talking about network development. In fact, I am teaching many people. I have a lot of people across India, across globe coming because I am teaching them what are the management lessons we can learn from Indian legends. So
okay. Yeah, I saw that.
Plenty of things are there. Thank you, Dr. Madhipurni.
Okay,
you are so committed and you are inspiring a lot of youngsters in your college. Continue to do that because the future is in their hand and all the youngsters are capable. But the only thing is we should just trigger them and we should ignite them. And the moment we ignite them, they will perform better than us. They are much more knowledgeable, much more intelligent than all of us. Thank you very much.
Agreed. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Great, sir. Thank you.
Good day.
Have a great evening, sir. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you all. Bye.